Hello, I am BillyBrujo, host of the show with the most mojo. Since the astrological anomaly that permits me to walk the earth during Halloween has ended, I have returned to the Phantom Film Vault to get back to work on fixing the old episodes. But before the aperture closed, I had a chance to take a nice scenic hike on the beach to hunt for hagstones. But what is a hagstone, you might ask? Hagstones, also called adder stones, although I never heard of that before I checked the Wikipedia, which are also called a bunch of other names, also often including snakes, are a type of lucky stone. They're called adder stones because they're the egg of a snake or the skull of a snake, or possibly the petrified stone created somehow by the collective drool of a bunch of snakes that have gotten tangled up with each other in a knot. But I digress. Hagstones, or whatever you call them in your part of the world, are any stone that has a naturally occurring hole in it. However, much like with a bezoar stone, which is another type of lucky magic rock, you aren't allowed to buy one. You have to find it or have it given to you as a gift. The best place to forage for these is at a rocky beach where the relentless forces of the water drill the rocks mercilessly. If the beach looks like this, it's probably a good place to look. If you see lots of rocks with a lot of dimples in them, then they'll be about somewhere nearby and it's time to start rummaging around and looking closely. Turns out this particular beach was just a factory making them. The entire ground was absolutely lousy with stones with natural holes, often more than one. But all these stones were rather large, and the hike back up to civilization involved going up a pretty sharp cliff face. There were a lot of great rocks out there, including what I'm pretty sure was some pretty nice red jasper, some dirty amethyst, and something that could have either been a type of garnet or possibly even some really dirty emerald. But the tricky part was finding some hagstones small enough to be wearable. But after a great amount of searching, we found a scant few good ones for our own collection and to send to a few magicers with whom I had recently been discussing the subject. But okay, that's how you find one. What do you do with it? I think it's pretty straightforward. I mean, you hang it on a string and wear it as an amulet, because it's a rock with a free hole in it. You didn't have to drill that hole yourself. That's pretty lucky. Going back to Wikipedia, it says a bunch of stuff about how the Druids allegedly used them, but anytime Druids get mentioned, I become skeptical, because as of my current knowledge, we don't have any primary sources for anything about Druids, and the secondary sources we do have aren't exactly reliable to their due to their own religious affiliations. Looking at the various sources I could find, the rock has two primary uses, both of which are pretty obvious. The first thing you can do, as I said, is to hang it on a string, therefore making it a good luck amulet, which you can hang by your door to prevent evil spirits, by your bed to prevent bad dreams, or on your person for buena suerte. The second option is to look through the hole, which allegedly gives you the power to see fairies, spirits, or other invisible things such as stands. Also, it is my opinion that you could potentially look through the hole to cast gaze attacks like Stone Stare and Evil Eye. But whether you're just looking or just hanging, always remember to keep your spirits up.